Most games find themselves trying to be the next best thing, or at least more unique than their current competitors. They have to be unique or stand out in order to sell well, and I mean, well, what's the point in a game if it's exactly like all the others before it and has no real incentive to actually be purchased? It can be seen right in your face throughout many games in many different ways. Some games try to reach out with their art direction. Take Disco Elysium for example. Revachol is created in a way to show the city on its last legs, and it really feels like it. The way each building, road, and person are drawn and created provides such a dreary atmosphere and experience that it's hard for it to not catch your eye. Or, in contrast to that, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which provides more of a Sunday morning cartoon art style, which provides for the vibrant world of the Great Sea to become more memorable, along with many hilarious faces that Link pulls throughout the game. Companies also try to keep their gameplay structure unique, which will be the main focus on today's video. This isn't particularly easy for companies to do, as there's just so many ways you can structure a mission, a level, or gameplay formula. Two examples that come to mind currently are Mafia 3 and Ghost of Tsushima. Both have their major faults in their formula, however it is widely believed Tsushima is superior to Mafia 3 in regards to gameplay formula. So why exactly is that? Well, first you have to look at what the formula actually is. While they are implemented in different ways, Ghost and Mafia both have what I call enemy outpost syndrome, which has been highly scrutinised in the last few years due to how much it is used and how completely mind-bogglingly repetitive it actually is. However, Ghost does it slightly better than most due to how much fun it is to be the Ghost. The amount of gadgets and roads available to you in taking out these enemy camps is what makes each one fun. Not only that, but the incentive of clearing one out is actually quite well done, as it gives you not only resources for crafting and upgrades, but also brings you closer to your next sword style by taking out the leader of the camp. In Mafia 3 however, the incentive is much less rewarding. The gameplay doesn't have much variation, and it does what no game should do, and it has enemy outpost syndrome, and it makes it completely mandatory. Clay has to take out these outposts to give leeway for one of his 3 enforcers in the game to take it over, and to take down the current leader of that exact region. It becomes just unenjoyable, and by the late hours of the game you're begging it to end. But what if I told you there's a game that is just as repetitive in structure as Mafia 3, however it's 100 times better than Ghost of Tsushima or a lot of gameplay formulas out there? Let me introduce you to Hades. Released in early access at the end of 2018 and fully released on September 17th of 2020, Hades is a roguelike action dungeon crawler focused around our boy Zagreus, son of Hades, god of the underworld, and former supposed son of Nyx, goddess of the night. I say supposed because his real mother is Persephone, who was able to escape the underworld, and with the help of the gods of Olympus and a few allies along the way, Zagreus has to battle his way out of the underworld to eventually reunite with his long lost mother. Now that is a very brief summary of what Hades is, but for this video I want to focus primarily on the genre of this game, as it is described primarily as a dungeon crawler. Now, if you don't know what a dungeon crawler is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You crawl around in dungeons. One notable example is The Binding of Isaac, but in my opinion Hades perfects the dungeon crawling formula of just going into one room after another and fighting, trying to get stronger until you either die and reset, or survive and progress. This is via the randomization of literally every single aspect of the dungeons. Let's first talk about the main power system of this game, that being the Olympus Boons. Olympus Boons are Zagreus' main source of power throughout the game, and is what helps him travel through the 4 respective areas of the game. You can get boons from any of the 9 Olympian gods, ranging from Big Ol' Zeus, king of the gods, or Hermes, the fastest little man that side of the overworld. Granted, not every boon or helpful item is from an Olympian god. Chaos, who is a chthonic god, grants Zagreus powerful boons, but only for dealing with a limited time debuff. Examples being enemies doing more damage or movement speed being lowered. Each respective god has their various set of boons that cover all of Zagreus' respective attacks, along with him being able to just get general buffs. You can match Athena's deflect dash with Hermes speed boost and extra dashes, or match Ares' spiral blade cast with a buff to inflict a status effect on damaged enemies from Aphrodite. There's completely endless possibilities to what you can mix and match in this game. You may think, damn Aiden, this is already a pretty unique set of powers you can vary and play around with. What can possibly be better with this system? Well, let me tell you, my lovely little viewer. When you progress far enough in the game and progress to a certain point, specific boons and gods will start combining, which will create dual boons, which are crazy strong. For Zagreus, leading to another mechanic of mixing and matching enough of these crazy boons to figure out what works best for you, and to also experiment with different playstyles. And this is only the first aspect of the game we are talking about. Next, I want to talk about the weapons. A less important part of the variation, but definitely core to the game. You have a variety of weapons Zagreus can choose from, ranging from his trusty sword to a gun. Yeah, don't ask about it. Each of these have a unique aspect and playstyles tailored to them, with a weapon like the gauntlets giving you a more DPS focused playstyle, however being more close quarters opens you to taking damage more often. However, the bow and gun allow for a safer playstyle, however you trade the DPS you would have with the gauntlets for a lower amount of damage, with the spear being a mix of the in-between and my personal favourite weapon. More aspects and attacks with each weapon can be accessed via upgrading it with a mini boss reward, however compared to the boons it's just a small step in variety. Now onto the chambers themselves, they have quite a bit of variation. Let's first talk about their designs. Each area's dungeons have a unique look to it. Tartarus being the depths of the underworld and the home of Hades, so it has this architecture similar to Zagreus' own family home. This area is filled by lost souls and traps looking to stop Zagreus, with the conclusion of this area being one of the three sisters, Meg, Alecto or Tisiphone. And while they may have similar designs, they have varying attacks and fighting styles. The next level of the underworld is Asphodel, with a look normally associated with the Christian view of hell. The place is plagued with magma that if reckless, Zagreus will take damage from, along with bomb makers and skeletons of various powers, once again looking to kill Zagreus, with it capping off with a fight against a skeletal hydra that varies with its powers each time you fight it, where it might be shooting tracking missiles or summon extra enemies. Now that's where I will stop describing the areas. However, Elysium and Temple of Styx have their own respective and unique designs and challenges, and I urge you to play this game because I really do not want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't. And with that said and done, we still aren't finished. We still have one final aspect to speak on, however, and that will be the dialogue of Hades. Now this part, I will not be able to do Hades' superb dialogue system justice. However, People Make Games made a superb video on the topic which I highly recommend you watch because it truly shows how much effort Supergiant put into this game. Now, Hades has a unique level of dialogue, whereas it doesn't matter if you can't beat the game over 100 runs or beat it in 10, you still are unlikely to hear another set of dialogue ever again. Once you use a dialogue tree by talking to a character, it simply throws it away until all of them have been exhausted, and then it resets, leading to the player going over 100 hours without a single line being repeated, as Hades has a script of around 300,000 words, with 2/3 of that script being voiced. It's quite the large challenge to find a repeated line in Hades. However, it doesn't just stop there. Supergiant also implemented a priority system to the dialogue, so to the player it feels like there's a structure to the game story and progression, as if after beating your first run of Hades everyone was just commenting on a new weapon, you wouldn't be able to make much sense of it for the player. With these two systems, even story-wise, the variation and uniqueness of Hades makes that repetitive dungeon crawling gameplay formula not so repetitive. Hopefully through talking to you about these aspects and exploring Hades' gameplay formula has shown you just how fun of an experience it could be, and I would like to preface, I missed out a lot of stuff. There's certain aspects of areas I didn't touch on and unique and well written characters that help boost the dialogue factor, so I 100% urge you to go and check out Hades. It is only like $20 or £20 or whatever, but it should literally be worth what a AAA game is, and it's worth every single penny. I literally cannot put into words how just good it is. Just go play it, please. I beg you. Hello, thank you so much for watching this video, and this is my first edited video back. Let's go. I'm very happy to be back making videos for you all. If you missed my last video, I explained all of that, but this was genuinely such a ton of fun to make, and it's genuinely stoked me to make more. The next video, I don't know what it will be yet, but if you want to keep posted and see more of me, go over to my Twitter at ThePacifiedApe and drop me a follow. Along with that, if you want to subscribe, it's free, and if you don't seem to vibe with my content after, you can always unsubscribe. And with all that said and done, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.